Back from the brink, the Vikings are in the Windy City trying to get on a roll. Love him or hate him, Brett Favre is still the man for the Vikings. We're talking about number 4. And we talk sports with one of the Twin Cities' best. It's all ahead. It's Game On.
If they can stick together, pull together, and different guys step up when needed, I think they're going to be all right. We still have a puncher's chance in the NFC, being a pretty mediocre, or the mediocre conference in the league this year.
It's Sunday. It's Game On, fed by Acapulco Restaurants. Delighted to be with you, Rod Simons. And you know this man, he's one half of that Williams wall, number 94, Pat Williams, and we'll talk to Big Pat in just a second. But first, we got to break it down. Windy City Bears at Soldier Field against the Vikings. This is what the game looks like by the numbers, and it is a big one. Vikings look to end their 8-game losing streak on the road. The Vikings need a win today, 2.5 back of the Green Bay Packers. The Bears are going to mix it up today. This is something I'm going to ask Pat about because they ran 31 times, passed 31 times in their last game. In the previous 2 games that they had played, they lost, and they were passing like 3 times as many plays. Chicago D has been busy making turnovers and helping their offense out, and Jay Cutler was fairly good last week, believe it or not. 17 of 30, 188 yards. And delighted to have with us that other half of the Williams wall, Big Pat Williams, the All-Pro. Thank you for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me, man.
When we talk about, let's first of all talk about getting the monkey off your guys' back when you guys beat Arizona. You guys knew you could do it, and you finally get it done. It had to be a relief.
It was kind of scary at first. He was on that sideline. Head was hurting. I had a bad migraine early. I said, we'll pull this game off. A lot of people's jobs on the line. So it was kind of a wild game for us.
But what a furious, and it wasn't just Brett Favre, what a furious fourth quarter because the defense made gigantic plays. Did you guys feel any pressure, or did you just know it had to come together?
And no, we felt a lot of pressure because we said the game on us. Like, every time it's on the field, we got to get off this field. We can't let Arizona drive on us right now. We got to get off this field. It'll be real bad for everybody. So we was on the field. Every time we go on the field, we say we got to get off. We got to be 3 and out or a turnover. And
so you made the plays. You got it done. Now you turn your attention to Chicago. You guys know what you have to do. It's a place where you have won football games, so it's not an intimidating place. But the bottom line is you got to keep what you're doing going. We got to go win. That's the end of the bottom line. We got to win. We don't win by 1, 2, 3. Yeah. We got to win the game. And I noticed that you chuckled when I mentioned the Jay Cutler numbers. This guy can be particularly bad against the Vikings. You guys have a way of pressuring him. The Bears don't intimidate you, but do you see him being a better quarterback than the last time you faced him?
No, he kind of off and on because he can have a good game. So basically we got to get off this game playing early. So when the game first started, we got to get pressure on.
Do you think that they will pass more than they run against you? Because last week against Buffalo, and Buffalo is one of the worst teams in the National Football League. They split it. They ran as much as they passed, but they're not going to be able to run against you guys. And I love Chester Taylor, but they're not going to be able to run against you guys.
I think they're going to try it at first. So like every team come out and try it. So I think if they stop the run, they'll just turn to a pass again. So
you'll shut that down. Are you confident in your ability to stop the pass against Cutler and their pack of mediocre receivers?
I think our team confidence, like we basically going out for to win the game. So I think we're going to go out there and win this game.
How much does Julius Peppers help their defense?
He's a freaking nice, like he do it all over there for him. He's a freak over there. So he basically make everybody else good.
Yeah. Okay, more with Pat Williams. We're going to talk to him about how things have calmed down at Winter Park in just a moment. Don't forget, you can join us for a live taping here at Game On next week. Meet these guys up close and personal Tuesday at Acapulco in Coon Rapids, 7 o'clock. We're going to be talking Vikings and Packers, food, fun, autographs, ticket giveaway, and more. So make sure you join us. Pat Williams is on deck. We also have one of your favorite sportscasters in the Twin Cities, Don Mitchell, will be joining us. We're going to be talking Brett Favre and raising Stanley and the Mayak Minute. It's all ahead. It's Game On.
We're doing this. We're doing it. You're doing it. Move up. You got this, man. Here we go. It's not that high. Come on. Just don't think about it. Here we go.
It's going to be awesome.
1, 2, 3.
Pow!
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity. or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Liberty Comfort Systems.
Get the latest in innovation and technology at Liberty Comfort Systems.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Wallingberg and Diebly believes in families. We understand and support families in all their many forms. And when legal problems arise in the family, Wallingberg and Diebly is there. Wallingberg and Diebly, the premier family law firm of Minnesota. When you need us, call 612-326-3453 or visit wbdlaw.com.
The Vikings, as bad as we are right now, we're not out of it. We've got a lot of games left to play, and the NFC North is up for grabs. Nobody's running away with it. Chicago, we've got to go in there. We've got to beat Chicago because that's going to give us the chance to really reestablish ourselves in the NFC North.
That's the voice of the fan, and they are very, very optimistic. Welcome back. This is Game On, fed by Acapulco Restaurants. Delighted to have you with us, Rod and Big Pat. It's game day, Vikings and the Bears. And I just had to ask you, before and even probably in the second and third quarters, did you see a few of these flying around in the stands?
Yeah, we saw a lot of those flying around.
And you said you also saw one that said,
put chitties on waivers. I say, you can't put a head coach on waivers. You put a player on waivers, I know head coach though. So that was funny. That was funny side.
It was an angry crowd just waiting for something to happen.
They was just waiting. They was booing the defense.
Yes.
And then the defense never been booed. I say it's got to be bad as they booing us.
That's right.
So they was just waiting on the littlest thing to happen to get that booing going.
What a difference a win makes. And now you play the Bears. And when we look at Chicago and Jay Cutler in particular, I got to ask another question about him. Is this the kind of guy that you look at and you say, we can make a difference against this quarterback because we have had success against him in the past?
Yeah, we'll watch the film. Like we say, if we get this guy early, hit him early, we'll change the whole game plan. So if you hit Jake Cutler early, you change the whole game plan. You
know, you have been around the NFL a long time. You are the oldest active defensive player in the National Football League at a young 38 years old. You coming back again, or is this it? Or have you made up your mind yet? If I feel like still having fun, I'm coming back because the game fun to me. It ain't the game part. It's just the off-season training. That's the hard part. Yeah. So if you don't feel like doing that, it's time to go home. Tuesday at Vikings at Vikings Winter Park headquarters, players had it off. You were in lifting. I always been there. I'm old school, so I come every day. Every day. Every day. You got to. That's amazing. You know, you had 62 tackles in 09. You're at 25 or some already. So you're on pace to pass or get real close to that. Does the game come easier this year for you, or is it, with all the losses, has it been more difficult? It'd be kind of bad with all the losses because once you lose a game, you want to stay in the house all week. You don't want to go nowhere. So you don't want to talk to guys like me. You don't want to go nowhere, really. You try to hide from the media. You don't want to go out to eat or nothing. You want to be just home until we win. So that's why I'm out this week. That's right. That's right. So when you look at the Bears, you have a task at hand. You beat the Bears and you start a roll, don't you think? That's the plan. So I think if we win this game, we right where we want to be at. And ironically, as a lot of fans might sit out there and saying it's over, you guys have never really accepted the fact that the season is over, that you still have work to do. It's not over. It's not over because, like I tell the fans, we win this game, we got Green Bay at home next Sunday, so it's like the following Sunday, so we right where we want to be at. Pat Williams is with us. We'll have Pat back right at the end to sum up what is ahead at Soldier Field in Chicago. But don't forget, all the show highlights, all the latest information, you can go to our website. It's GameOnTVMN.com. We have a pack of outstanding bloggers. We talk about all sports and teams, and links to our partner sites, purplepride.org, one of the top Viking fan sites, and it is dynamic as well. GameOnTVMN.com. When we come back, Dawn is in the house, and we're raising Stanley and getting to the Mayak Minute. We'll talk to Pat before we get out of here. It's all ahead. It's Game On.
What's your 99? Introducing Wendy's new 99-cent everyday value menu. My 99. My 99. How about about a beefy double stack? Or maybe a crispy chicken sandwich? Now there are 7 tasty choices for 99 cents.
99! My 99! How much? 99!
Real choices, real value, every day.
You know it's real. Rochester, Lapidary Jewelers. If you wanna look good, great style and value. Jewelry, gems and stones. We got everything you need at the Rochester, Lapidary Jewelers. Great style and value. Rochester, Lapidary Jewelers.
Acapulco Restaurant is Minnesota's choice for authentic Mexican food. At Acapulco, our chefs prepare your meal from an original family recipe crafted by the Leon parents in native Jalisco. You'll find your dining experience not only delicious, but memorable. Join our Acapulco Online VIP Club and we'll give you exclusive savings and specials. It's delicious Mexican food and more. From our family to yours, join us at one of our 7 metro locations, serving lunch, dinner, kids to carry out, and catering too. Acapulco Restaurants. We deliver real Mexican food.
Well, I think that the season is still salvageable, and whether we make it to the playoffs or not, or whether we go far in the playoffs or not, really isn't dependent. It's about getting our organization up and running, get us running hot, and doing the best we can every single year with the players and the people we got.
And beat Chicago.
And beat Chicago. Skol Vikings!
Welcome back. It's Game On, fed by Acapulco Restaurants. You heard the voice of the fan. There is tremendous optimism. We're going to talk about that right now. You know her and you love her. She's on Fox 9. Great to have Dawn Mitchell in the house. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Nice
I appreciate it.
So we just heard some fans, and one win reboots their engine like crazy. So have you bought into it? Or what do you think's the situation?
You know, I think it's the way that they won.
Right.
I think the fans love that. They were already leaving the building, less than 4 minutes to go, and to come all the way back and win like that on such an emotional day when it started off with fire chili.
Yeah.
The way it ended, I think that's the emotional high right now. But I don't think anyone's fooled.
Yeah.
But if you can win in Chicago,
yeah.
Let me tell you, the bandwagon is chugging.
And she saw these just like we did at the. And I thought his goose was cooked, but I think a win saves him.
You know, right before the game, too, I looked over my shoulder, and he was coming out. He winked and said, "Hi, Don." I said, "Hi, Coach." And that was probably the last nice voice he heard, because it was a chorus of boos.
Yeah.
And then he went out and shook Ziggy's hand. So he braced himself. He knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And all the players said afterwards, you know, he was calm. He did his job. Agent Peterson said that.
Yeah.
He was calm, did his job, and look what we did. So
We've sat together at Soldier Field watching football games, and we've seen some highs and we've seen some lows. We both saw the Adrian Peterson record-setting game. We've seen them get, waylaid there too. What do you expect out of the Vikings in Chicago?
You know, and I've also been on the other side of it covering the Bears.
That's right.
So
Yes.
the interesting thing for me is to be on the other side of it now for 6 years. And I think it's a winnable game. It always is. But whenever you get in that environment, it's always very difficult. But I don't think the Bears are a strong team this year. I don't think at all. And you just listen to Big Pat. They're salivating over Cutler. So you get Jared Allen going, and you get a couple of sacks under the belt, and you get the momentum going. And if they can utilize everyone on offense like we saw last week,
right.
I think it could be a good game.
And I heard some people at home, and I'm listening to you right now, saying the guy's a homer. He gave it up against the Bears. But the bottom line is the Bears are not a particularly good running team. They're suspect at quarterback, and if the Vikings can take anything from that fourth quarter, that is a winnable game.
You know, and if you watch too, I mean, Brian Urlacher on defense cannot do it all, and he's been trying to do it all.
Yeah.
So if they can get the Vasante Schenkel going, you have Adrian Peterson. You know they're going to be focusing on him and stacking the box there.
Right.
I think they can really get it done. And if Bernard Berrien, he's not going to have those yellow shoes, or unless he pays another fine. Let's see what he can do again.
Did the fashion police get him for that?
They did. They fined him.
What is that all about?
I don't know.
Yeah.
At least you can see his feet going. They're great.
Best part of your job, what is it? Covering the games?
You know what? I like day in and day out of knowing it. You know the guys in the locker room. You see them in the game,
Right.
so when they know you, it's the day in and day out of knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And then condensing it to 30 seconds and trying to sell it.
And you guys have such a great time with your producers, with Jim Rich, and the great news staff that you guys have. The bottom line is that it really is a team effort, especially when you have the big stories and you have to cover it and you got to work together.
Well, It's like I played sports my whole life, so it's being part of a team. You
Right.
know, I love sports, grew up with brothers, you're watching the games, and you're in the sports office, you know how that is.
Exactly.
It is like being on a team. You throw out the jokes, you make fun of each other, but you leave it on the field. You know, when you got to turn it on, you turn it on.
And last question for you, because I know you got to run. The reality is the Vikings, like Pat said, they really have no other alternative but to win.
And they have Brett Favre, who we saw what he can do, and I don't care what people say, whether he was calling the plays or not, but the 2-minute drill with 3 minutes left, I mean, he can do the 2-minute drill all game long, as far as I'm concerned in Chicago. That's what they need to do. They need to turn it on and win, and then I think the rest of the games are winnable games.
Yeah. Don Mitchell tonight on Fox 9 and the newscast after the game. Make sure you catch her. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Time now for Who's Hot and Who's Cold, brought to us by Liberty Comfort Systems. Don and I were just talking about it. Love him or not, Brett Favre is hot. He has risen from the ashes. His 448 yards were really one of the key reasons that the Vikings rallied to beat Arizona Sunday and perhaps saved the season. Brett Favre is hot. Cold, got to be the Wolves. As much as I love them, they're struggling to get on a steady roll with those massive road losses. Doesn't help to be the youngest team in the National Basketball Association. It'll come, maybe not soon enough for some, but they're going to work to play through it. That's Who's Hot and Who's Cold, brought to us by Liberty Comfort Systems. And don't forget, you can keep up with the NBA each Thursday with my latest blog at timberwolves.com. It's Simon Says. Check it out. Drop me a line on your thoughts, too. It's Rod at GameOnTVMN.com. Simon Says, only on timberwolves.com. Delighted to have this guy with us. Best-selling author Ross Bernstein. You've seen a lot of his books. I just love this too.
Feels dirty flipping it.
I love Brett Favre. I hate Brett Favre. And your latest book is Raising Stanley. And tell us real quick, you're going to love this too because there's a little catch. You've just finished this. We'll tell people about the Moss book in just a sec. Tell us about Raising Stanley.
This was fun. I interviewed over 100 players who've raised the cup. They're very superstitious, so they'll never touch it unless they've won it. But what's cool for the local angle is I interviewed every Minnesotan in history who's ever won it. There's 28 in history, 22 are living. All the North Stars, the Wild, the Gophers, UMD, Bulldogs, everyone's in there. All these great stories about what it takes not only to become a champion, but also each player gets the cup for a day. So there's wonderful stories about what they get to do with it.
So you've been busting your bum to get this thing done.
Yeah.
And then Randy Moss gets traded back to the Vikings, and you put on overdrive to do I love Randy Moss, I hate Randy Moss book.
It was 18-hour days for a solid month, and sadly...
ended abruptly.
Yeah, I had interviewed you, I interviewed Don, I interviewed all the local media, about 100 players. I interviewed Pat Williams in the locker room. And when Randy was cut, my book died. I had to literally say, stop the press. Hallmark does not make a card for that. It was a painful day, but we're working on the sequel now. I love Sarah Palin. I hate Sarah Palin. She's the only person I found more polarizing than Favre, so it's going to be fun.
Were you shocked by the Moss?
Completely just befuddled and dumbfounded. I couldn't believe they... But you know, the guy's toxic.
Yeah,
and from interviewing everyone, just the stories and just the backstory of what an enigma and how mercurial he is and just everything. It wasn't completely shocking. The guy, he rubs people the wrong way.
And it was amazing to me how quickly that story died after they beat Arizona over the last few days.
I'm just excited to see what happens in Tennessee, what kind of a train wreck that's going to be. But he's playing for one more contract. Who knows what's going to happen?
Okay. When we talk about the Brett Favre book, you got to love days like he had against Arizona because it sells books.
It was just amazing. I mean, that's the part, and it's like you kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and you know, like they say, this is truly a soap opera team. I mean, you must be loving this. But for everything going on with Favre and the texting and Chili and Percy and Moss, it's just.
There's never a dull moment when it comes to this football team.
It's unbelievable, and it makes for good story, good press, and who knows, we're just enjoying the ride.
What's next on the Bernstein plate?
Well, Raising Stanley is cool. It's going to be a series, so I'm already working on Raising Lombardi.
Oh, nice.
And then Raising the Commission, going through each sport, interviewing at least 100 or 200 players who've won a championship and about the journey. And just, you know, I write about 3 books a year. I've written about 50 books now, so lots of different biographies, fun stuff, but this is cool. And
if you want to see any of his books, tell them the website.
BernsteinBooks.com or RossBernsteinSpeaking.com.
And we will have that on GameOnTVMN.com for a link. Ross, always great to have you with us.
You too, my friend. Great to see you.
Thank
Congrats on the new show. It's
Thank
awesome.
you very much. Thanks for being with us. And don't forget, if you need a ride around town to get you where you got to go, move around the metro, call on City View White Knight Limousine. Town cars, limos, SUVs. City View White Knight is safe, reliable. They'll handle your needs. Get them at the web, cityviewlimo.com.
Working together means working efficiently. And a Lennox home comfort system may just be the perfect example. Its air conditioner works together with the furnace. And that works together with the air purifier. And that works with you by saving you up to half off your heating and cooling bill.
The future of home comfort is here now at Liberty Comfort Systems.
Get the latest in innovation and technology at Liberty Comfort Systems.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Wallingberg and Deebly believes in families. We understand and support families in all their many forms. And when legal problems arise in the family, Wallingberg and Deebly is there. Wallingberg and Deebly, the premier family law firm of Minnesota. When you need us, call 612-326-3453 or visit wbdlaw.com.
It's time for the 3rd annual Purple Lipstick on a Pigskin Luncheon with proceeds to benefit Special Olympics.
Help us win.
This all-ladies luncheon is hosted by Drew-Ann Childress with women of the Vikings on hand. There'll be an amazing silent and live auction, holiday shopping, and more. Purple Lipstick on a Pigskin is November 20th at the Town and Country Club. Reserve your seat now at vqueen.com.
Please join us.
Take a special stand and join us November 20th.
Because I can. Because I can.
Welcome back. It's Game On, fed by Acapulco Restaurants. Great to have you with us. The Bears and Vikings in just a minute. You know, it's the MIAC Minute, and so this is the time of the show where we talk about what's happening around the Great MIAC Conference, and we talk about St. John's. Normally you think football and Coach Gallardi, but they have one of the dominant golf programs in the country. Here to talk to us about it, head coach Bob Alpers and Tony Krogan of Marshall, Minnesota, who's a junior and one of the top golfers in the country. You're just a junior. You're having a blast. What's your handicap?
Say about scratch.
Sweet, sweet. It was a great season for St. John's in that did you wind up 4th nationally, but you've won national championships, was it 07 and 08?
Right.
And it's a program that really has its way. What is it that you do?
We get great kids. We get guys like Tony and his teammates and the guys that have come before him, and they're not only, they're just really terrific young men. They're great students. We've been really fortunate in the last 10, 12 years. We've had 23 All-American golfers, but we've had 24 academic All-Americans. So they're just outstanding young guys.
And what Coach doesn't tell you is that he's Coach of the Year, so you're getting great advice and great direction, aren't you?
Yes, we are. He knows what he's done. He's been here for so long, and he's seen so many great players do it over and over.
Yeah.
So it's easy to follow that kind of lead.
Do you play in the shadow of the football team, or do you cut your own swath, so to speak?
Well, I think we embrace the tradition and the success of the football team. I think everybody, I really think so at St. John's. We're big fans of each other. So we just do our own thing and hope we can do as well as we can do it. And we don't worry too much about, we're thrilled with what they do.
When you have a great fall, you head into the winter, and you were just telling me that you take some time off. And why is that? Why don't you keep going?
It's a long year. It's a long summer. We start late March, hitting every day and going all the way to mid-October. And a lot of us in high school were multi-sport athletes, played hockey, played basketball, and we just kind of go take our break and do the workouts, have fun, and come rejuvenated again in the spring and be excited to play.
And Coach, do you find yourself not taking as much time off and figuring out what you might need to do for the spring?
Well, this is my time when I've got to try and find some guys to join them and try and recruit and try and hopefully have some other guys that are and great kids that want to come and join us and be part of what we're doing.
And I've said this before and I say it again, it's remarkable because these kids are not really playing scholarship sports.
No, we're not playing scholarship sports, and when you look at the length of time, we have a 19-week season, so that's why we have to split it up between the spring and the fall. And we've got all hockey players. They like to play intramural hockey and intramural stuff. And they're pretty darn good. Our hockey team, they're one of the top intramural hockey teams at the school too. So,
well, you guys are great. We appreciate you being here on the MIAC Minute, and continued success, and go get a national championship again next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us, Coach.
Thanks so much, and thanks for taking the time to look at the MIC. We really appreciate it.
We love the MIAC. Thank you very, very much. Yeah. Time now to take a look at our Wheels of Thunder week ahead, and big week locally. The Vikings host Green Bay. The Wolves get a couple from La La Land. They get the Clippers on the 17th, the Lakers on the 19th, the Wild with the 17th against the Anaheim Ducks, the Gophers' next game against Iowa, the 27th. And don't forget, November's National Adoption Month. Love for you to join us as we celebrate adoption on the 20th at NACAC's special evening for adoption. I'll be hosting. Would love to have you there. More information at our website, GameOnTVMN.com. Don't know if you caught this, but we couldn't resist. They say everything's big in Texas, and the plays certainly are. West Texas Driscoll Middle School, trick play of them all, number 14. The kid's name is Breeze at quarterback, and the sneak that catches everyone off guard, he does breeze into the end zone, pun intended. And in case you're wondering, it is illegal in high school and college, and most certainly would never happen with the Williams Wall playing against them in pros. But it's good TV. Congratulations, Driscoll, they won, and great play to see. Been a busy half hour, but before we leave, got Big Pat back to talk to us about what the Vikings got to do. And so when you talk about this game at hand, bottom line, what do you guys got to do?
We got to stop their offense, and our offense got to score points.
They're not going to run on you guys today.
No, they ain't going to run.
And Cutler's going to try to pass, and he's going to get blindsided and hit from all corners, right?
Yeah, Jerry Allen rolling right now. We got Jerry Allen back on track.
It's all good. But you got to get a win, and then things keep rolling.
Yeah, we're going to keep it rolling straight.
Big Pat is in the house. Great to have you with us. Good luck in Chicago today.
Thanks for having me.
And before we leave on Game On, this treat. Had a lot of fans send me a note saying, you know, you didn't play enough of the Rocket Club, so here it is again before we leave you. Holding on, courtesy of Chris Hockey and Rocket Club, just for you. It's Game On, fed by Acapulco Restaurants. Fox NFL Sunday is next right here on Fox 9. Have a great Sunday.
Nothing lasts, but nothing's changed. It's disappeared, but still remains. It's crazy how it keeps us sane. Holding on, holding on. You're standing where I saw you last, looking just the same, no years have passed. And laughing at the same old trash. Holding on, holding on. It's time I let you know. It's time I let you know. I'm just glad I shared the road with you, my friend, and now you know. The setting sun is sinking slow, and I'm just glad we shared the road. Many years, like so many days, have gone but never went away. So much leaves, but so much stays.